So you think you're ready. You want to be a homesteader. So while we walk around today and do our daily chores, we are going to go over our list of things we think you need to know if you're serious about homesteading. So, number one, it's a job. This, you can tell, I am still in my work clothes. I just got home. We're walking the dogs. We've got a couple of things we need to do around the homestead before we can turn in for the evening, and it never quits. It is a job with mending fences, taking care of animals, taking animals to the vet, you name it. It doesn't stop. You don't get a day off. There are no vacations. So just keep that in mind.
Well, can't take off a little bit of time if you get someone to come look after a few things, you know.
If you have help.
If you don't have any help, yeah, then it makes it a little rough.
Number two, Jeff's going to talk about finances.
Well, I'm the wrong person talking about finance. But anywho, how y'all doing today? Hope everybody's doing great. One of the best things that, of course, didn't quite happen the way we are, because probably like a lot of y'all out there, you are, you know, really wanting to do this, wanting to do it fast, but really suggest the best way to do it would be get all your debts taken care of. And that way, when you start on your homestead, you can just start off, hopefully keep everything to where you're not getting back into debt again. You know, one main priority in life is stress over money, is that you have, you come in to your homestead with hopefully the cleanest slate you can, with not having a lot of debt.
Homesteading's not cheap. If anyone who tells you, oh, I'll just live off the land, you have to know that, yeah, you can get eggs from your chickens, but chickens cost money and feed is expensive. Gardening, seeds cost money, and it takes time, it takes energy, and tomatoes don't grow year-round outside of a commercial business. So you need to know.
What do you think you're doing, young lady?
That
Sorry.
you need to know that homesteading is not cheap. There are a lot of homesteaders out there that do manage to do it without working an outside job, but a lot of homesteaders I know and I've talked to, at least one member works outside the home, at least part-time. Number three, save your money.
So another good point would be to go with trying to become debt-free, you know, be debt-free as most as possible, is come in knowing that you're going to have expenses that are going to be unexpected. So it's good if you got a little nest egg sitting there off to the side somewhere, intended, knowing that you're probably going to have a few complications you're going to come up across. So it's good if you got a nice buffer of some cash sitting there to where you don't have to go out and get a loan or use more credit. You can actually go off of using that reserve money you have sitting to the side. That's always a good thing. Well, hello there, ladies and gentlemen. How are you doing today? Oh, but I guess I forgot y'all's water. Well, another unexpected. I'll be right back. Well, how y'all doing? How are y'all doing today? Y'all don't care for that watermelon that much, do y'all? Hey, what's those little beetles doing inside there? Why didn't y'all eat those? Why'd y'all let them go in and get in your water? Here, I'm gonna pour them out here, that way y'all can find them. There. What are y'all? Young ladies, get back where you're supposed to be. What y'all doing? What y'all doing?
Number four, learn to garden. It doesn't take much. You can do it on your patio, your backyard. a window box. The key is to just learn how to grow, what it takes to grow, how to fertilize, what you need to turn those seeds into a plant. Learn seed saving. Learn to preserve your food. Can some jellies, make some sauce. If you don't have the ability to grow, or you've learned you're just not good at it, keep learning. But in the meantime, you can go to your grocery store and find vegetables or fruits on sale, and you can preserve those before you even make the leap into becoming a homesteader. So learn those skills ahead of time.
Alright, so I believe my wife said number 5 down on our list now. Kind of be, a little handy, know the, at least the basics of how to build, repair things around your homestead that you're going to need. And there's lots of YouTube things out there that you can definitely find that out if you're green to it, or don't know anything at all about it. But it is a very handy thing, because if you've got to pay someone to come out and just do a little simple job, well, they're going to charge you pretty good, because they're just going to get their labor out of it and the materials, and they might mark up the materials too. So you've got a lot going on there. And then number 6 is get a feel for what you really need for what you're planning on doing, and not your wants. Let me get right back with you. See, now you two ladies feel kind of foolish that you jumped over, now don't you? Y'all get back over this way. So I was saying, we've got 5 acres, and we kind of did need the tractor that we got. Now, for something like this, maybe the next step up would have still been feasible for me to use, but with the area we had, that's why we went with something smaller. Instead of getting some huge, big, 80 horsepower tractor that just wouldn't need, And then also, in the same aspects of getting it, you normally always have the owner's manuals that comes with any equipment you get, coming from, a tractor that you need to a riding lawnmower, or your push mower, or your weed eater, or your chainsaw for sure too. Also, kind of make sure you also know the general maintenance on it. And normally, always the best way to keep equipment normally running the best is always keep up to the maintenance schedule. Keep those items running longer, and it does cost you a little bit to maintain it with those things, but that maintenance will cost you a lot less over time than having to buy something completely new, or having a problem that's not a general thing, because I'm not a mechanic certified. I learned a lot of stuff from my dad, so that gave me kind of a little heads up on this. But you don't want to have to go take it to the lawnmower shop or the engine shop or wherever on another item that could have been prevented by maintenance, or things like that. So keep that in mind too. When you don't have a knife, Well, thanks to my mother-in-law, she had a bunch of watermelons and stuff that were kind of sitting out for a while. She let me grab a few of them because the chickens, first time we gave them one, it took them a while to figure out what it was, but then they know exactly what it is now. Chicky, 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 chicky. Well, you just wait. Here, chicky, 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 chicky. Here, chicky, 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 chicky.
Number 6, research the animals you want to get. You'd be surprised how many people, if this pandemic has taught us anything, it's that Americans panic buy everything. And chickens and goats were no exception. Between April and June of this year, the waiting list for getting your chickens almost tripled during those months. There have been a lot of questions about how to raise chickens, what do you do with chickens, long after people have already gotten them. Know before you get your chickens. Know that when you get goats, you need at least 2. They're herd animals. Know when you get chickens that no, you don't have to have a rooster for them to lay an egg. Know that if you get a cow, how much hay it's going to take to feed that cow in the wintertime. Make sure you're doing your research and you know about those animals. Which brings me to number 8. Make sure you do that research. You can visit farms. A lot of farms are happy to give tours. They open up once or twice a year a lot of times to do these tours to teach people about farm life, different animals. You can go to the library. Librarians are happy to help, and do your YouTube research, not just on animals, but gardening and farming and what you're looking for in homesteading and property. Just take the time. A lot of community colleges, depending on your age and state, offer free classes on some of these things.
Now we're coming to, I believe it's number 9 now, and that's look for your land that you're wanting, not what someone else might be selling. You know, make sure it's what you want. It may not have everything you'll have that you want on it, but, and then of course you've got to do it in your price range too. You know, don't overextend on something just because it might have one of those things that you may be just paying just really too high for that land. But make sure that it's a couple of key points on it would be is, you know, you can kind of talk to some neighbors, maybe possibly around the land, to find out how the weather is and if they know if that area might flood or anything like that. And then also, if you plan on building on your land and anything like that, and if you're just paying cash for it, always make sure you get like a perk test done for your septic to make sure that your septic would go, because not all land is allowable for septic. And if you buy a piece of land and you didn't kind of, you know, take the time to spend that little bit of money that you're going to have to, then you've got a big piece of land that you can't live on. You know, it may possibly, you know, or, you know, find out if there's a possibility that there's a city, you know, or a county septic that you can get into, or water. And then of course that'd be the other thing too, is, you know, you can try to talk to some neighbors on if it's far enough out in the country to where you need a well. Kind of ask around to see what the, you know, if you can, you know, it's not always necessarily true that you can, but you can talk to some people that live around there, how deep their wells might be, so that you kind of have an idea of what to expect when you need to go dig this well. You know, because some people I know that they may say, well, I've got a, you know, a 50-foot well, but it's it's not that great, and then you talk to someone maybe right next door or something, and they're like, well, I've got a 200-foot well and it works great. And you know, this is going to be your place that you want to work with. Be a little picky on what you're looking for too, you know. Don't always just go, that'll do, I can make it work. You might get into it after a couple of years and go, man, I really wish I would have done this, and you know, I saw that land when we were looking at this one. So be a little picky, be a little choosy, you know, because, you know, it's definitely yours, so keep an eye out for it.
And finally, number 10, don't stress, just relax. If you stress too much about getting everything paid off, researching the animals, and learning to garden, and doing all these things, then by the time you get started with this lifestyle, you're going to resent it. So don't stress over it. Have fun with it. And once you've got all your debt paid off and you have a nest egg saved up and you've researched your animals and you know what you think is everything you need to know and you've purchased your property, something's going to go wrong. The bottom's going to fall out. Don't stress over it. The only thing you can do is fix it and move on, one day at a time. Y'all have a great evening.
Y'all have a good one. Y'all be careful. Be safe. See you next time.